सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्णः परमात्मने नमः।
प्राप्यते फलं कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडं कृतिमहोदकौ पतनकारणं फलमशाश्वतं प्रतिनिरोधकम् ईश्वरार्पितं दीक्षया कृतं चित्तशोधकं मुक्तिसाधकम् कायवाङ्मनः कार्यमुत्तमं पूजनं जपः चिन्तनं क्रमात् जगतैषधी युक्तसेवनम् अष्टमूर्तिदेवपूजनम् उत्तमस्तवादुच्चमङ्गता चित्तजं जपध्यानमुत्तमम् राज्यधारया स्रोतसा समं सरलचिन्तनं विरलतः परं भेदभावनात् सोऽहमित्यसौ भावनाविदा पावतीमता भावशून्या सद्भावसुस्थितिः भावनाबलात् भक्तिरुत्तमा हृस्थले मनः स्वस्थता क्रिया भक्तियोग बोधाश्च निश्चितम् वायुरोदना लीयते मनः जालपक्षिवद्रोदसादनम् चित्तवायवा चित्क्रियायुताः शाखयोर्मयी शक्तिमूलका लयविनाशने उभयरोदने लयगतं पुनर्भवति नो मृतम् प्राणबन्धनलीनमानसम् एकचिन्तनाशमेत्यदा नष्टमानसोत्कृष्टयोगिनः कृत्यमस्ति किं स्वस्तितिं यथा दृश्यवारितं चित्तमात्मनः चित्त्वदर्शनं तत्त्वदर्शनम् मानसन्तु किं मार्गणे कृते नैव मानसं मार्ग आर्जवात् तयस्त्वहं वृत्तिमाश्रिताः वृत्तयो मनो विद्यहं मनः अहमयं कुतो भवति चिन्वतः ऐपतत्यहं निजविचारणम् अहमिनाशभाग्यहमहन्तया स्फुरति हृत्स्वयं परमपूर्णस इदमहं पदभिक्यमन्वहम् आविलीनकेऽप्यलयसत्तया विग्रहेन्द्रिय प्राणधीतमः नाकमेकस तज्जडं ह्यसत् सत्त्वभासिका चित्वरेतरा सत्तया हि चेच्चित्तयाम्यहम् वेषधीभिदा सत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम् एषः नतः स्वात्मदर्शनम् ईशदर्शनम् स्वात्मरूपतः आत्मसंस्थितिः स्वात्मदर्शनम् आत्मनिर्भयात्मनिष्ठता ज्ञानवर्जित अज्ञानहीन चिज्ञानम् अस्ति किं ज्ञातुमन्तरम् किं स्वरूपम् इत्यात्मदर्शने अव्यया भव पूर्णचित्सुखम् वन्द्यमुक्त्यतीतं परं सुखम् विन्दतीह जीवस्तु दैविकः अहमपेतकं निजविमानकं महदितं तपो रमणभागियम् अहमपेतकं निजविमानकं महदितं तपो रमणभागियम् Okay. So, from the 6th Shloka, after karma and karma phala, after it has been completely pulled down and destroyed, he says better than that is uttamastavad uchyamandataha chittajanjapa dhyanam uttamam. So japa dhyanam uttama uchya mandataha and uttama. For chittajam, japa dhyanam is uttama. So you start from japa and go up to dhyanam. Uchya, upamshu or manda, and then mauna. When it goes to mental activity or upasana, which is called meditation, how it needs to be? It should be very focused and it should be continuous for a period of time. That is the one which is meaningful and not getting spurts of focus and attention. No. He says how it should be ajyadharaya strotasa samam. Strotas means which is flowing, and flowing continuously samam equally. Ajyadharaya, how an oil when it is poured, how does it flow? Like that, the chintanam, isha chintanam should be sarala and viralatah padam, only on Ishvara and not on anything else. So saguna Ishvara dhyanam or Ishtadevata dhyanam is very clearly mentioned. So dhyanam is not emptying the mind, but it has to start with Ishtadevata dhyanam. Okay. Then what does he say? Says, now you have two types of dhyanam. Saguna Ishvara dhyanam and Nirguna Ishvara dhyanam or Nirguna Brahma dhyanam. Understand that this particular aspect of Saguna Ishvara dhyanam is very simple and everyone can very easily achieve with some little effort. So consistently the same thought of that Ishvara comes, and he said that to enable it, you have so many dhyana shlokas. So we saw some dhyana shlokas and all. So Vishnu Sahasranam has got dhyana shloka. Kshirodanvat pradeshe shuchimani vilasat saikater mauktika nam mala klipta sanasta sphatika mani nibhair. So the meaning of that, once you know, then when you are chanting, your mind is connected to that. It will continuously happen like Ajyadharaya Strotasasana. Mind will be completely absorbed and focused into it. Now, Bheda Bhavana or Bheda Dhyana. Bheda Dhyana is Saguna Ishvara Dhyana. And this Saguna Ishvara Dhyana is one type of dhyana where I am the subject, Ishvara is the object. Okay, now we slowly got into this technical stuff of dhyana. He says, Ishvara becomes the object and I am the subject. I am the meditator and Ishvara is the object being meditated. So how many are there? There are two. That is why it is called Bheda Dhyanam or Bheda Bhavana. Dhyanam or Bhavana, thought, which is underlying, where you are absorbed, is called Bhavana or is also called Dhyana. Technically, the Dhyanam word fits, but Ramana Maharshi has also called it Bhavana. Now, in Bheda Bhavana, one more aspect can come. From Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam, you can go to Nirvikalpa Ishvara Dhyana. The first one is Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam or Ashtadevata Dhyanam is Savikalpa Ishvara Dhyanam, where parts are there for this Ishvara. That Ishvara has got hands, legs, face, nose, eyes. You will, Angavarnam you can do, how beautiful dress that Ishvara has worn, what are the ayudas he has kept. Okay, like that there are so many varnas which can be given. This is all Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam, where you have objectified Ishvara. Then next comes Nirvikalpaka Ishvara Dhyanam. So now I slowly move from a completely formed Ishvara like me, who has got all the various limbs. I merge these limbs and look at it as Saligrama or Shivalinga, where it is still, there is a guna called Rupa, but colors, other forms, other breakups are not there. Are you able to get that? That is also slowly moving from Saguna Ishvara to Nirguna Ishvara. It is a penultimate step where you are not giving all the limbs, but there is some object on which you are doing Dhyanam, and that object is different than you. This again Bheda Dhyanam. Are you able to get this? So Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam, Nirguna Ishvara Dhyanam, both are Bheda Dhyanam. This Nirguna Ishvara Dhyanam can further go to one more step, that the object is also not there, but still there is a Dhyanam that there is Shunya or there is no object at all. That is Nirguna Ishvara Dhyanam. Okay. What happens in this Nirguna Ishvara Dhyanam, that there is, you are so as to say imagining an Ishvara who is Sarvavyapi, who is omnipotent, omnipresent, Sarva Shaktiman, Sarva Jnani, knows all the omniscient, but he is different than me. Why? I am an Alpician. I have limited knowledge. I have everything limited, but he is filled with everything. I don't need to give a form, because wherever I see him. Like the 10th and 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Vishwarupa Darshanam or Vibhuti Darshanam. So I can even do Nirguna Ishvara Dhyanam on objects which are gunas. That I see Ishvara in everything. But that Ishvara is different than me. Because I have limitation, that Ishvara doesn't have limitation. Is it clear? Again, it is Bheda Dhyana. It is not Abheda Dhyana. It is Bheda. Because that so-called Nirguna, Nirvikalpa, all that Ishvara you are making an assumption doesn't have a Rupa. For example, if I have to tell you, can you imagine Vishwarupa Darshanam? If I say I look at Vishwarupa Darshanam, what will come in your mind is still one Rupa of Bhagavan who is all encompassing, that big, with many heads and many hands and many legs and many. But that may not be the Vishwarupa. Still bigger than that, because behind that Ishvara there is an Akasha. That means what have you done? You have limited Ishvara now. Within that space. Are you able to get that? But relatively it's a big something like just imagine when an ant is sitting on the big toe of your leg and trying to see you. What will the ant see? Vishwarupa Darshanam only. It's a relatively big but still finite. Are you able to get that? That will have to move to infinite, and still if you see it, you are still objectifying Ishvara without gunas, but still you are objectifying. As though like Shunya, or as though like present everywhere, but still you are objectifying because you know you have a limitation as a subject. So it is Bheda Dhyana. Are you able to get that? Then what is Abheda Dhyanam which he is saying here? Bheda Bhavanat Sohamityaso Bhavana Bhana. So he says Abheda Dhyanam is Abheda Chintana. Aham Brahmasmi Chintana is Abheda Dhyana. It is not Dhyanam on Abheda. Dhyanam on Abheda becomes Bheda. Chintanam of Abheda is making you and that Ishvara as one. So it is now no more Dhyanam on an object. It is now you have gone to the principle of what the subject is seen as me, and the same subject is Ishvara. Now that Abheda Chintana Sohamityasau Saha Aham Iti Asau. We both are not too different, but we are Advitiya one itself. That is a Chintana you can do, but not a Dhyana. Are you able to get this? Is it clear? Bheda Bhavana Sohamityaso Bhavana Abhida Pavani Mata. Abhida Bhavana or Vedantic Chintana, Mahavakya Chintana is Abhida Dhyana. Because in any other Dhyana, this Bheda will come, that the subject and the object will be there. When will the subject and object become one? Only when it is a Chintana, or you are into a principle which is there and you are rested on the principle and not on the application of the principle. Correct? Aham Brahmasmi is the principle, not the application of the principle. So far as you are focusing in Dhyana, which is an application of the principle, you will never reach the principle. So it will always be Bheda Dhyanam, never Abheda. Even if you call Abheda Dhyanam of Brahma, it is still Bheda only. Two separate. Then what makes it Abheda? Chintana of Brahma will make it Abheda and not Dhyanam of Brahma. Abheda Tattva Chintana, that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Na Aparaha is Abheda Chintana. So here the subject alone is there, there is no object. There is nothing to objectify. Are you able to get that? So he says, when you do this meditation, start with Savikalpaka, Ishtadevata Dhyanam, slowly go to Savikalpaka Vishwarupa Darshana Dhyanam. Slowly from there go to Nirvikalpaka Ishvara Dhyanam or Brahma Dhyanam, and from there go to Nirvikalpaka Abheda Brahma Chintana, which is Abheda Dhyana. Are we able to know the steps clearly? They are theoretical, but at least we should know how it goes. And this requires a lot of practice. This requires a lot of going step by step ahead. Okay. So, very easily he has said that if Veda is what is going to create a problem and you can't go in that path, it is like 99.99% gold, you will never go to 100. Then why even try that? If that path has got its own limitation, why go by that path? Then what do? Drop that path and go to Abheda straight away. And that will ensure you that you are into Abheda Chintana and not Abheda Dhyana. Is it clear? Okay. So, Bheda Bhavanat Sohamityaso Bhavana Vida Pavani Mataha. Okay. Then he says, Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustiti.
Can I ask you questions? Dhanam. So, Gita Dhanam is also considered as Ishwar Dhanam.
Which one?
Gita Dhanam. Gita Dhanam we read, na sir? Gita Dhanam.
Gita Dhyana Shloka. Are you referring to Gita Dhyana
Yeah.
Shloka or? Okay.
Gita Dhyana Shloka there.
Correct. What is it? Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam. Has it got a meaning? When the meaning is there, does that meaning run as a scene in front of you? That is the purpose of it. Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam. So, all this stuti is related to Gita. Dhyana Shloka is for doing dhyana on Gita. So when these dhyana shlokas are there, you are supposed to do dhyana. Your mind should be fully aligned to it, that picture should go in front of you. And then reverential attitude starts coming. Shraddha starts coming. And then with that Shraddha, you start learning the Gita. That is why the Dhyana Shloka is there first. Clear? Sagunam, not at all Nirguna. There is not even one iota of Nirguna there. Everything Saguna, everything Savikara, everything limited, everything like a picture. As you on the TV and see the picture, when you close your eyes and do Dhyanam, and when the Shloka runs, there is going to be scene after scene pictures running. And you can be absorbed in it. Is it clear? Now, Bhava Shunya Sadbhava Sustitihi Bhavana Balat Bhakti Ruttama. What is he saying? Bhava Shunya. Bhava Shunya is Abheda Dhyanam. Upasana without division. How can that happen? Only when Sadbhava Sustitihi happens. Only when your mind is completely absorbed in that Sadbhava or Abheda Chintanam, then Bhava Shunya happens. Okay. Bhavana Balat Bhakti Ruttama. Okay. When you do this Bhavana Balat to achieve this deliberate repetition for a length of time, that is called the highest state of Bhakti, which is the Upasana. Now this may look a little vague. What is he talking about? See, in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, Prashantatma Vigat Prashant what is that? Sixth chapter में sixth or seventh Shloka is there. Even as Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise I'll have to open it and check.
Jitatmana prashantam.
Jitatmana prashantasya, correct. Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahitaha. So it's exactly the same thing what is told here. That person, one who has got completely, that mind is stress free, equanimous, well balanced mind. Paramatma samahitaha means only when the person moves from the objectifying thought to the underlying principle, that is Paramatma samahitaha. Okay. How do we understand this? When I close my eyes and I get a thought, where is this thought coming? The thought is coming in the mind. There is one thought which has come and gone. Let us assume that it is happening in a very slow motion and we are able to understand every thought. To that extent, we are able to now slowly control the mind. One by one, we are allowing the thought to go. Thought number one goes. I understood it. I am aware of thought number one. Then the second thought goes. I am aware of the second thought. If I want, I can check whether thought one and thought two are in the same direction or on totally different subject. That is also possible. What is the common thing in all these thoughts and what is the thing which is separate in all these thoughts? When I am sitting and doing a dhyanam, what is it which keeps on changing and what is the thing which is completely, which is stable and never changes? One which is ever changing, one which is never changing.
Sir, Atma. Atma is never changing. It is same.
We are not referring to Atma here. We are referring to thought. We are referring to thought. What is that which is ever changing in these sets of thought and what is that which is never changing in these sets of thought? When you move from thought 1 to thought 2, that thought is ever changing. So one thought, then thought second, then thought third. Why do you give it a name? Because they are different. And if they are different, it comes and goes as a thought. After the first one has gone, the second one has come, let us assume. So that thought is the one which is ever changing. Yes or no? Now, every thought, you will be able to call it a thought only when you are conscious about that thought. You have a thought. Now, is the thought Jadam or is the thought Chetana? How do you know that is Jadam?
Anitya. It is coming and going.
So what? How do you know it is Jadam? It is not Nitya or Anitya is not as Jadam and Chetanatva. It has life or it is dead. The thought is Jadam. Okay. How do you know that the thought is jada?
The thought by itself cannot do anything.
Correct. What do you need to make that thought alive? It is dead, I agree. By itself, it cannot do anything, I agree. But what is the use of a dead thought? Aham Brahmasmi, dead thought. What is the use of it? The thought, if it is moving, if it is changing, then you have made it alive. By nature it is dead, but seemingly looks alive because it is moving. It is coming and going. Yes or no? What made it alive? My Chetanatva made that dead thought alive. Sambandha with my Chetanatva, my Chit converted the dead thought into alive. My Chit connected with my mind, made my mind sentient. The thought which is jadam, which is coming in my mind, which has a borrowed sentiency, becomes as though alive in my mind. I'm going very slow. I'm telling you one after the other point. Understand it and tell me whether it is that way or not. My thought per se is jadam, but the thought comes and goes, seemingly looks chetana, although we know it is jada, because by itself it cannot do anything. That something gives it a chetanatvam, it has got borrowed chetanatvam. Who gives the borrowed chetanatvam? The mind gives borrowed chetanatvam. Because where? The thoughts are in the mind. Who gives the mind chetanatvam? I, the OC, reflects in the mind called the RM and makes an RC, and that RC looks so similar to the OC that now I say that I, the Atma, for the RC also. That borrowed sentiency from the Atma through the mind gets transferred to the thought, and the thought, as though Chetana, comes and goes. Is it correct or wrong? Is it very difficult to understand? A wire is dead wire so far as there is no current flowing through it. When the current flows through the wire, that dead wire, borrowing its sentiency from the electricity, the current, calls itself that I am a live wire. As though the liveliness of the wire is coming from the wire itself, the copper is Mahajadam, the electricity passing through the copper converts this wire into a live wire. Is it correct? Why? I stop the current, the wire continues to become dead. I start the current, the wire becomes alive. That means what? Wire by itself doesn't have Chetanatvam. It borrows the Chetanatvam from the electricity and calls itself as live or dead. Same way the thought is jada, it borrows the sentiency from the manas. Manas in turn borrows the sentiency from ahankara. Ahankara borrows the sentiency from Atma. And thereby this mind says, I am sentient and I am aware of the thought. So, who is aware of the thought in reality? If you remove that go to the original, that Atma is now aware of the thought through the Ahankara. Is it clear? So, what is the thing which is constantly changing in the thought, and what is the thing which is never changing in the thought? The thought by itself, it is Jadam and it is constantly changing. Me being aware of the thought is the only unchanged factor in all the thoughts, that I am aware. That is a constant thing. Is it clear? Is it correct? Okay. So when you are going to be focusing your mind on the thought which is coming and going, compared to that, if you focus on the source of Chetanatvam which is giving life to this thought, and that is consistently constant, because it is not changing. So when you move from the thought to the source that gives Chetanatvam to the thought and place your mind there, your mind is swasthataha. Paramatma samahitaha. Swasthataha. It is resting in you. Are you able to get this? Now this doesn't require any change, either in the thought or in the setup or nothing. Whatever is happening, I need to fine tune my equipment and decide where to focus on. Should I focus on the ever changing thought or the never changing sentiency which gives life to the thought? The moment you shift this and your mind is established in this, in the never changing, then that is called Abheda Chintana, not Abheda Dhyanama. The earlier Abheda Chintana we said, no? What is Abheda Chintana? Going to the substratum further. That further below we cannot go now. Sarva Samanya Sarala effortless aham is where the dhyanam will be now. Soham ityaso is what he said earlier. Are you able to get this? Okay. That is why the same thing, when you convert this further, Bhava Shunya. See what he has written. What is Bhava? What is Bhava? What is Bhava?
Is it right? Is Jnana here?
No, thought. Thought. Bhava is thought. Bhavana keeps coming and going. What is Bhava Shunya? Defocusing from the thought. Okay, if I defocus from, I have done pratyahara from the thought, then where should I do dhyana now? On the source of Chetanatvam to each of this thought. Right? What is that he has called? Sadbhava Susthitihi. Bhava Shunya is moving your mind from the ever-changing thought, and Sadbhava Susthiti is establishing this mind permanently and getting absorbed onto that Chetanatvam, Abheda Chintana, which is giving life to this Bhava. Okay. Are you able to get this? That bhavana bala. So now two aspects he has told. Bhava shunya, removal of your mind from the ever changing thought. Bhava sustiti, correct? Establishing the mind into the never changing Atma or Chetanatva. That particular thing, Bhavana Balat. What is Bhavana? Thought. What is Bala? What is Bala? The strength or the steadiness. Correct? So if you focus on a thought, what you get mind focused and it is firm, that steadiness compared to that, bhakti is uttama. What is bhakti? He has used the word bhakti here. Don't get so confused. It is a very simple aspect because the way it is written is very, very confusing. He has used different terminology. I have two options. Focusing on the thought, focusing on the Chetanatma of the thought. Focusing on the thought and only one thought, if you are continuously focusing, it is giving you bhavana bala. Compared to that strength, when I do chitta ekagrata on it, more than that, bhava shunyata, once I move out of that, I move it to the bhava susthitihi, the origin from where it is getting sentiency. Okay, then that focus at that particular place over a period of time, that is only called bhakti. How can you say that? He says bhakti ruttama. Focusing your mind on that and completely being established on that is the highest form of bhakti. What did he do? Started with karma, then moved to upasana, japa, then moved to upasana. In upasana went to manasam karma. In manasam karma, saguna ishvara, nirguna ishvara dhyanam. Then abheda chintana. Abheda chintana is a thought. Now do you want to sit on abheda aham brahmasmi thought or that sentiency which is giving life to the thought? Samajh mein aa raha hai how is moving through? Every layer which we are baking it as a sandwich, he is expanding it with a big lens and asking you to properly align yourself where you are to be. Are you able to get this? Okay. If you are going to be with the bhavana, then you get a bhavana bala. If you are going to be on the thought, you get chitta ekagrata. Compared to the chitta ekagrata, if you are establishing your mind in sadbhava susthiti, that is called bhakti. And that is much, much higher than being in the thought. 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Arto jitnyasurartharti jnani cha bharatarshava. 4 types of bhakti. Artha bhakti, arthartha bhakti, jitnyasu bhakti, jnani bhakti. What is jnani bhakti? Aham brahmasmi chintanam, putting your mind completely established on the aham, which is giving chetanatvam to all the thought and completely being established there. That is the highest level of bhakti which even Bhagavad Gita says. So did he say anything different now? Are you able to now correlate it, connect it? Okay. But the way he puts it is tougher. Suddenly it is like geometrical jumps you have to take. Log jumps, not sada. Either say either udi maro, either say either udi maro. He has just taken you tak tak tak. Now what is left? Now bhakti, he is going to talk. So karma over, upasana over, bhakti is going to tell. After this yoga is going to come. And after that jnana is going to come. Are you seeing how he is connected each of this? Karma, karma phala. From there manasam karma, upasana. Before that japa intermediary. And from upasana, where to do upasana, what to do upasana, where to fix the mind, slowly then bring to the substratum of which is giving life to that, and then that is called bhakti. So now slowly he has entered into bhakti. Are you clear now how he has taken it? Okay. Now see what is it. Hritsthale mana swastata kriya. Bhakti yoga bodhascha bhakti bhakti yoga bodha bhakti yoga bodha ascha nishchitam. Okay. Stale mana swastata kriya. Manaha swastata Hritsthale kriya bhakti yoga bodha cha nishchitam. Okay. I am not sure whether you all have seen, how many people have done your yoga diploma? I think only Lalit is here who has done the yoga diploma, right, Lalit?
No, sir, I'm not
Yeah, so no one is there who has done yoga diploma. Okay. If you have been one of those fortunate person doing yoga diploma by Gantali Mitra Mandal, there will be an unfortunate lecture by me on Vividangi Vivida Yoga. Karma, dhyana, jnana. Okay. Ashtanga. That 4 yogas. And in that one particular slide I have, where karma to upasana or dhyana, and from that to jnana. All these 3 you will be able to do only when there is a substratum called bhakti. So bhakti is not something separate. If I am able to get that slide, I will show you, then you will understand why I am saying it that way. I am saying means it is my understanding of what it is, I put it in a pictorial form. Give me a second. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Rodasadanam Chittamayava Chitriyayuta Shakayuta types of yoga. Yes, I should get it in this. Yes. Very good. Are you able to see it?
Yes.
This looks very vague, but this is a created stuff. You will not get. Each component has been taken and then created to give some meaning. So here you have on the right side Om, which is your final jnanam, for which first you start the lowermost, the Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Jnanendriya. Okay. This Pancha Jnanendriya and Karmendriya, which is through action. Now, what is going to do the action? Ahankara along with Buddhi and Manas. Are you able to understand this? This is Buddhi, this is Manas. Okay. With the prana, your Pancha Karmendriyas are going to function. The same Ahankara on complete submission is Bhakti. The same Ahankara through the mind regulation is Shama. Okay, so Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, this Upasana Yoga, and the topmost is Jnana Yoga with knowledge. So all the four in sequence is going to reach to this. Karma, followed by Bhakti, followed by Upasana, followed by Jnana. As much as this is told, this is not true. As much as I am telling you this, I am myself saying this is not true. Why? The next slide will show it better. You have for an extrovert person Karma Yoga, for a mentally active person Dhyana Yoga, for a rational mind Jnana Yoga. You can go from Karma to Dhyana to Jnana and go to Moksha. But don't forget, Bhakti is an essential for all. It is on this Bhakti only, each of these are going ahead. Are you able to get this? The Bhakti is the substratum and this is the thought. That is why he says when the mind is focused on the substratum, it is called Bhakti. Anyway, so much knowledge was not dawned on me when this was made. It is only when I am trying to explain this, it gave me a thought that that picture actually depicts what he is telling. Okay. Because if the knowledge is correct, different text will still, you will be able to show it the same way. There is no distortion in that knowledge. So, very clearly, why? See, understand this word Bhakti is not something which is a... Okay, let me ask a question to you. Because from that, it will become very easy for us to extrapolate to this. Let us imagine that I am focusing on my children. That is in my mind. I have children of different age. So they have to be given different things for their progress. I cannot treat all the children the same because they are of different age. I can't treat an adolescent son of mine like a 5-year-old daughter of mine. They have to be treated differently, right? Their understanding is different, their knowledge is different, their requirements are different, and that their setups are different, and hence have to be taken care of that way. Now, when I'm going to look at doing something for my 5-year-old kid, what is prompting me to do? When I'm going to buy a dress and give to this 5-year-old kid, let us imagine what is prompting me to do. What is prompting? It's difficult.
Love.
My love to that child. One simple statement and leave it there. If my 15-year-old adolescent son has not understood certain things in life properly and is getting a little wayward, why should I do a course correction and bring him back? What is prompting me to do? Tell me, anything different? Is it my status? Is it my face value in the society, or is it my, principally is it my love?
Love.
Correct. If I think about my daughter for marriage and I try to get resources ready for it, what is prompting me to do that?
The same love.
You understand? Whichever example I gave, it is the same love. I buy something for the 5-year-old child, karma yoga, love. If I think about doing something for my marriageable daughter, dhyana yoga, love. Are you able to get that? I do course correction, shama dama, love. Without that basic structure of that fabric of love, how will you know that? Because I don't do it for the neighbor's child. Why? What is missing there? My love. But when that neighbor's child is on distress, I will go and surely help. Why? My love for the neighbor's child again. Because I know, compared to that child, if there is another child whom I do not know is in distress, whom will I go first to help? Whom I know, because there is an element of love sitting there. Or whatever that underlying relationship is called bhakti. The strata on which the rest, जो बोलते हैं ना, पूरा जो बिल्डिंग दिख रहा है वो किस बलबूते पे खड़ा है, ये भक्ति के ऊपर खड़ा है. Are you able to get this? If bhakti is not there, karma yoga will never happen. If bhakti is not there, upasana can never happen. If bhakti is not there, jnana can never happen. If bhakti is not there, dhyana also can never happen. Okay, that form of shraddha, when it gets converted to bhakti, which is unconditional, is bhakti. When it is conditional, it remains as shraddha. That is why the Vedas says, Shraddham kamasya mataram. Shraddha is the mother for all my desires. If Shraddha was not there, the desire would not be there. Are you able to get that? So at a very, very transactional, if this love is the one which is doing it, in Paramarthika, will not that bhakti be called completely getting aligned to that strata on which everything is sitting now? समझ में आ रहा है? That is Uttama Bhakti. And that is why he says Bhava. Let me close that. Hritsthale mana. No, before that. I will explain this Hritsthale mana next time. He says Bhakti Yoga, see Bhavana Balat Bhakti Ruttama. So he has bought in Bhakti, and Bhakti is the substratum of everything, where your mind is completely focused because there is nothing. And how does Bhakti get defined by Narada? You know, Narada Bhakti Sutra. Sa Tvasmin Parama Prema Rupa. First sutra of Narada Bhakti Sutra. Sa Tvasmin Parama Prema Rupa. Asmin Parama Prema Rupa. It's an unconditional love which is there, is called Bhakti. If it is attachment, it is conditional. Purpose gaya, Bhakti bhi nikal gaya. समझ में आ रहा है? When it is unconditional, that is called Bhakti. And that unconditional need for me to go and get that Paramartha Tattva, I am ready to have that unconditional Bhakti with anything and everything. And connecting to that substratum is called Bhakti as defined by Sri Ramana Maharshi. Is it clear? These are terse topics, not simple ones. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Dhanyavada. We'll continue next Saturday, sorry.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸರ್.
Yeah.